Hello, young people. Here we are. The next video in our series. We just finished talking about sedimentary rocks. Now we are going to cover igneous rocks. Igneous rocks, as we said in an earlier video, are made from cooled magma. If that magma cools below the surface, we continue to call it magma, but if it somehow erupts, if it makes it to the top of a volcano, that magma becomes what's known as lava. So, igneous rocks, cooled magma. The next thing to know is igneous rocks are made almost entirely of mineral crystals. If it cools fast enough, it'll be obsidian, which is a volcanic glass. But other than obsidian, igneous rocks are made from mineral crystals. And those minerals in an igneous rock are randomly organized. So what does that mean? They're not all pointing in the same direction. You might have one sticking that way and one this way and one... Got to be careful I'm not making offensive hand gestures here, but trying to make you realize that these randomly oriented minerals, they grow however they can. And once they run out of room, they simply stop growing. Igneous rocks are generally classified by the crystal size, the composition, the chemical composition of those crystals, and to a lesser extent, the color. But the size of crystals is really important, actually. It tells us it's a huge guidepost for us when we're trying to read the autobiography of the Earth, and that is that the size of crystals is directly related to how long it took that rock to cool. The quicker a magma cools, the smaller the crystals will be. Fast cooling equals small crystals. Slow cooling equals large crystals. And then there's this other way that igneous rocks are classified, which I think might be a little more confusing for you guys, but I'll mention it, is these two words, either mafic or felsic. And in order to take any meaning from that, you need to understand that there's a lot of silica in rocks. Silica is one atom of silicon and 2 atoms of oxygen. So, mafic rocks are very dark in color. They have low silica content. Felsic rocks are very white in color. They have very high silica content. Where are you going to find igneous rocks? Well, we can find igneous formations called batholiths. And what a batholith is a big magma chamber, a big blob of magma that it got the heat cut off, it didn't pay the bill, whatever. Stopped being supplied with heat and water. And so our magma chamber just kind of cools off, but it takes forever because there's so much, it takes a long time because there's so much material, it's hard to move that heat out of there. So yeah, a batholith, if we took Mount Rainier here in Washington State, scraped the mountain off the top, and then pushed whatever's underneath Mount Rainier up we would have a batholith. We can also get igneous rocks through cracks or fissures in the ground. If they're vertical, we call them dikes, and if they're horizontal, we call them sills. It doesn't really matter. You don't need to remember that. All right. We'll see you in our next video, next and last for this section, metamorphic rocks.